Hi, my name's Dan. I work for a company called News UK. We publish newspapers and run radio stations. This includes the Times and the Sunday Times, and most people now read our stories via websites and apps that my colleagues build. The internet has completely transformed the way the world works, from how we get news to how we search for information, learn new skills, or listen to music. And all of this reading, watching, searching, and listening online has led to an explosion of data. This increase in data has created new jobs, including ones for data scientists, which is what me and my team do. We don't work in a lab, although some other data scientists do, and some of my team used to do, but we do use scientific methods to help figure out how to solve problems for my company by discovering patterns in data, using data analysis, coding, and often using algorithms. Data scientists work in almost all industries, from people tracking and fighting the spread of COVID to people working in banks or building self-driving cars. I work for a news company, so I get to use data to help our editors and journalists spot hidden trends that help them work out what stories to write and even check the facts in those stories before they are published. We also build algorithms that help decide which news stories a reader might be interested in seeing next, and do this for millions of people every day. This is an example of a content recommendation algorithm. These algorithms work behind the scenes across apps like Google, Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok. These particular algorithms work out which search results, videos, photos, or songs to show you next. And because these recommendations are personalised to you, what you'll see on these apps is probably completely different to what anybody else sees. There are lots of different algorithms you get to work with as a data scientist, but all of them are essentially recipes written in code using languages such as Python. These give a computer a set of instructions to follow, and if they work, can help the computer automatically find useful patterns in the data. For instance, a recommendations algorithm that needs to work out what video to show you next might look at all the videos you've previously watched and look at all the other people who've watched the same videos. It can then work out what people similar to you also watch, and use that to decide what to show you next. Essentially, the algorithm is trying to write in code something that is common sense, that you are likely to enjoy watching things that people similar to you also like, but do so automatically using a computer millions and millions of times over. However, whilst these algorithms are very powerful and can find patterns hiding in data, they can also go wrong in all sorts of ways. If you watched one Harry Potter movie, an algorithm may end up recommending you all the other Harry Potter videos because on average, people who watch one also tend to watch the others, even if personally you didn't enjoy it that much. The computer doesn't really understand you or what you're interested in. It's picking up on those things you've done and making assumptions based on them. On news and social media apps, these algorithms can also end up just showing you lots of the same stuff based on what you've watched before. And so you can end up getting a very narrow view of the world, and these are called filter bubbles. So this is one reason that data science is a lot more than just maths. It's very easy to do very clever things with computers and data that seem like a good idea at the time, but end up having unintended consequences like putting you in a filter bubble. And to avoid these pitfalls, lots of other skills are critical. For instance, creating charts, what data scientists like to call data visualizations, is one of the most powerful ways to spot patterns with data. And so I rely on people who love art and design just as much as statistics. The ability to write clearly in sentences humans can understand, not just code, is also vital. If you have found an interesting pattern that you think somebody in your company can use, you need to be able to explain it clearly to them and help them imagine what they could do with those insights. And more than anything, perhaps curiosity. Curiosity that drives you to search for patterns and new ways to solve problems for people you work with, because this curiosity makes you focus on finding the best way to solve the problem, which often doesn't include a complicated algorithm. But if it does, curiosity about what an algorithm is actually doing and the impact it has on the people it affects. Not everyone has all these skills, and that's why the best teams tend to have a real mix of people. But if you're thinking of becoming something like a data scientist, please do think about these other skills, not just the maths, statistics, and programming. And even if data science is not for you, many of you will end up working in companies that generate huge volumes of data. And whether you're a software engineer or a product manager, if you can understand how the data and algorithms work, what they do, and more importantly, what they can't do, that will be an incredibly useful skill, whatever you do.